Hey Aquarius, what's up? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is the Tower. I'm also seeing Queen of Pentacles and the Lovers. The Tower right now is feeling to me, and we can expand upon this. Maybe I'm gonna get something else from it later on. The Tower right now for me is feeling like an awareness about something, and this can feel like it comes on kind of suddenly. Where I'm getting that from is that there is an eye above this tower, and this feels like an awakening or like an awareness that happens, and because of the lightning, it feels kind of like suddenly my eye is open to something. Having Queen of Pentacles here, this is gonna be something having to do with your personal life in some way. I usually see Queen of Pentacles as being connected with that. And then having the Lovers, maybe a relationship, a personal relationship of yours. Yeah, so maybe this is like some type of awakened insight. Yeah, I am seeing two people here. Yeah, I haven't noticed this when I look at the cards normally. Like when they come out individually, I've noticed it, but I don't remember ever having them sort of come out in this way where the Tower and the Ten of Swords and the Three of Wands, they're all connected with one another. They're sort of in a group over here, and all of them have an eye at the top of it. And I've used this deck many times before. That hasn't been something where I've noticed like this many cards have an eye at the top of it. But now that they're all grouped together, it feels very obvious. Like maybe something coming in threes even. We have 6 cards out here so far. So the Tower has an eye above it, which does feel like an awareness. And also too, when we have the Tower, there can be like something having to do with change as well. So that this can even be a shift or recognizing where we need to take action. Tower is connected with Ten of Swords. So Ten of Swords is going to be basically the closing out, like you have completed a cycle that you've been present within, and now this is something that you're sort of being shipped off to the next place. Mentally, this is feeling incomplete to me. I think the spread's gonna need to be a little bit longer. You know what's weird? Some of you, it feels like this Tower may happen later down the line, but it feels strange that we'd be shown this now if that really is the case. Or maybe this is just that had happened in the past and now you're in a different place. I mean, we end here with the Three of Cups, which is quite an interesting thing to see, because when we start off with a tower, it can be something that we see as being a powerful force, potentially of destruction, only destroying something that tower kind of destroys falsehood in a way. But because it's also connected with change and something being seen, this looks like it ends up being a catalyst for things coming back together, actually. Maybe after they hadn't before. Like maybe this brings stuff up for you, but it ends in a way where there's like peace and there's even a reconciliation. For some of you, 3 people are involved in this. It's not going to be the case for everybody, but I am seeing 3 court cards, and then we also have the 3 of cups, so that can potentially be something that's going on. Yeah, so Tower, Queen of Pentacles. You can feel like this is something that impacts you in a big way within your personal life, specifically with a personal relationship, and having that 10 of Swords feels like something that had happened between you and someone. And this would have been somebody that you could have felt like you were quite a pair with this person. Pair, like there's love between you and this person, with Queen of Pentacles, the Lovers, and Queen of Wands here. When you have that, this can be somebody that I just feel like these energies get along well together, but having the Tower and having 10 of Swords be on the end of this feels like maybe you abruptly had a falling out with this person, like something went on. For some of you, there was a person that was involved, there was like a third party that was involved in this. It doesn't have to be a person, but for some of you it can be, or there could have just like been some type of weird issue, because I'm even seeing this kind of move in a little bit of a triangle. But yeah, King of Pentacles doesn't have to be a person. Like a third party can be someone's job or something like that. Just something that would feel like another entity that's kind of involved in things. So yeah, having this, the Queen of Pentacles and then the Lovers and then the Queen of Wands, this feels like a relationship between people that like you could have felt really close with this person. You could have felt like your relationship was really important with this person. But when we have the Tower and then we have the 10 of Swords, it does feel like something was going on within the relationship that, I mean, 10 of Swords doesn't have to mean that something ended entirely. Like for some of you, sure, it can be. Like maybe something happened here and then there was a, like, we're not going to talk to each other anymore. But for others of you, this can just be something unexpected and also challenging that happened between you and this person. It doesn't mean that you have to like cut them off completely. I guess that's going to depend on each of you. Some of you can go through this and you could have went separate ways. Others of you, this can just be something that was harsh or difficult or really challenging that you experience within a close relationship that you have. Then the next part of the spread, we have 3 of Wands and we have 4 of Swords. So 3 of Wands can be about the sort of distance that we travel, the ground that we cover, and it can even be looking back at a past tower, like I'm here now, but that tower happened in the past. Even though we don't have 6 of Cups here, but I almost feel like having Tower and having 3 of Wands, it feels like the 3 of Wands is where you are now, and you're looking back at sort of where you've traveled and remembering, like, I hit a tower back there. But you can feel like you sort of have a bit of a different perspective. Like maybe this was a moment, an eye-opening moment, and maybe now you feel like there's even more awareness that you have. But I wonder too if this was like a singular event that happened. And the change too is that before, this could have like felt like it destroyed a relationship even, but anything that was, when we have the Tower, it would be like falsehood. It would be like like when we have the Lovers here and we have a connection, it's meant to be supportive. And maybe it was like you found out that there wasn't like authentic support between you and someone. Like whatever the deal was within the relationship. But now from where you're standing, now what I'm seeing be going on is that it feels like all of these changes needed to happen to lead to the Three of Cups, which feels like everything coming back together again. So it even feels like what happened was that let's say that you're the Queen of Pentacles here, you could have felt like you were going through a personal tower and it impacted a very close relationship of yours, and there could have been something very painful that happened between you and this person, but it also led to personal transformations both for you and also for this person. And for some of you, separately, this was going on. Because Ten of Swords, again, can be you sort of went your separate ways. For others of you, maybe the relationship changed at that point because we have the Tower. So that can be a moment when things really change vastly. And so whatever it was that went on, because I'm even seeing energetically there being this like reaching out or holding or connecting with you and this person, but this could have like broken you guys apart. And this can be any type of relationship. Like this can be a friend, this can be a sibling, it can be a partnership, it can be a coworker. Whatever this was and whatever type of relationship, having that Ten of Swords feels important, even though it can feel very painful to go through the Ten of Swords. Simultaneously, you can feel like really significant change happened, like eye-opening, evolving, important change that needed to happen, that maybe like that was just how things needed to be. Because I don't know, maybe too, if you guys were together throughout this, maybe the changes wouldn't have occurred personally that needed to change. So then we have the Three of Wands. So this feels like time after the Ten of Swords occurring. So Ten of Swords is going to be like that main event where it could have felt like things changed at that point, and it could have felt really painful the way that happened, the way that occurred. Three of Wands feels like now we had that, now we go later down the timeline to where you are now with Three of Wands. This feels like you looking over things and remembering when that tower had happened, what was going on for you personally, how this impacted a close relationship of yours that you had, the way that things happened. And I feel like there's some type of like full circle perspective moment that you're having, where this tower is feeling like a dark night of the soul of some sort because of the dark color. It's like the purples and reds and blues that are within that. And then this Three of Wands has the sun connected with it. So that's going to be like a sort of final illumination in a moment where you feel like, if you look at this card, this feels kind of airy. Like there's a freedom to this. Like there is you even see this person here. This is like indicative of moving upon a spiritual journey. Just the symbolism of seeing this person with the robes on and what that indicates, generally speaking, like what comes to mind when you see that, somebody on a spiritual journey, and sort of the distance, the lengths that you've gone to, and things really making sense now, like you being connected and sort of looking up at the sun, which represents illumination for the purposes of this reading right now. And it feels like looking back and remembering a really challenging time where it could have been an eye-opening time for you, but this could have felt like a really unsettling, eye-opening time. So that's why this feels more dark night of the soul. And now this feels like you're not in that position anymore. Like a lot of stuff has happened in between, but you're remembering this for a reason. You're remembering what was happening with you, what happened within the relationship, what had gone down, and why is this coming up now? Because I'm seeing a Three of Cups. So this feels like whatever happened with you and this person, you guys are coming back together now, having us end with Three of Cups. Like you guys went through something with the Ten of Swords, but now having Three of Cups there, you guys are coming back together. I wonder too if somebody, like if you're the one that's the Queen of Pentacles here, you could have felt like this Queen of Wands, you could have felt like I don't know if they were like stubborn or maybe holding something back or like withdrawn or just something that was going on, seeing the Four of Pentacles here. Like this can be somebody that like maybe both of you guys were unwilling to move or unwilling to compromise. And maybe that's why you guys had to take space or something from one another. And this even feels like so your roles could mature within your relationship with one another too. And now you guys can come back together again. So having Three of Wands and having Four of Swords is where you are now, the peace of mind even that you have, because before with the Tower, you could have felt like it was a very disruptive, chaotic force within your life. Now seeing the Four of Swords be connected with you, it feels like you're more centered within your life. And you can feel like there's peace that you have that you didn't have before. Because there was a lot of stuff that needed to happen. And now you and this person are brought back together with one another. And it feels too like, again, if you're the Queen of Pentacles and you were dealing with a Queen of Wands, doesn't have to do with gender, by the way. This Queen of Wands is like maybe more stable within their life now, maybe in a way that they weren't before. Maybe more willing to sort of hold on to what's important to them. And maybe they weren't able to do that before for some reason. I definitely get like a really stubborn energy from whoever this Queen of Wands is, but I'm actually seeing both of the energies be pretty stubborn. But it feels like there is a, like you guys have, you're not so much in like that severe of a polarity anymore, where you guys may have like more of an understanding for each other now. Because I'm seeing there be like, maybe a piece that you have that you've developed that this person also faces now and is important to them. And it feels too like, I just almost get it like you guys, something almost like swapped now with you guys, but in a way where there's like more common ground even. And so that Tower can be what you see in the grander timeline. You can look at that and say, like, that was really difficult when that was going on. Maybe I thought I would never talk to this person again, or we'd never be in each other's lives again. And in that moment, it could have felt like really, really difficult. But now taking a step back, you could say, like, that was so important and significant for our relationship to end up where it is right now, for things to actually come back together. Because now I'm even seeing like this matured energy where there's an ability now to show up and to commit and sort of play one's role properly within the relationship in a way that, I'm getting confirmation of this, in a way that wasn't, I think, happening before. This feels like for your own reasons, you guys like had to just do your own thing. And it does feel too like the Tower can be kind of connected with, you could have wanted this person to play a certain role for you within the relationship, and you felt like they didn't do that. And they can also feel the same way with you as well in the past. But now, because of what you guys have gone through and the maturation, and I think also to the maybe like self-awareness that's been gained, like ability to stabilize oneself that's been gained, there's an ability now to be able to really show up now with each other in a way that wasn't happening before. That may have been why things fell apart actually. But now that this is going on, it feels like, I don't know how this is exactly, like I wonder too for some of you if it could have felt abrupt how you and this person sort of clashed with one another, and now abrupt again how you guys come back together. Because starting with Tower and end with Three of Cups, this feels like change and then the thing happening, and that can be like where stuff really shifted, and now a change again and stuff coming back together. Kind of like the door is either like wide open with you and this person, or it's shut completely with you and this person. Like it's either on or it's off. And I wonder if that's what it sort of felt like. And having Page of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, there can be something that's starting up now that this is happening. I do feel like it may have been somewhat unexpected for you to be connecting with this person again. Or it would feel sudden. Kind of like the blink of an eye, like we weren't connecting and now we are connecting, like that. So even if it's not the most preposterous, like unexpected thing where you're like, no, like I'm not like totally completely surprised by that. It can be a very sudden onset how this happens, and that part can be surprising, like the speed with which things come back together again. And it could have felt like it was also surprising the speed with which things fell apart initially. And so it's like kind of coming back together in the same way. Like it could have things sort of exploded and then were separated, and now things are coming back together again. And both of them being like rapid change, and that in succession even. Some of you guys, you can be working with this person too with King of Pentacles. Just throwing that out there. It doesn't have to be, but there can be something connected with that that's going on, or some common responsibility that brings you guys together. That can also be too with King of Pentacles. It can be like some type of duty or responsibility that you guys have that brings you guys together with one another. There can be a partnership of some sort that's happening. And yeah, so having this Three of Cups, it feels like things just come back together again, like very seamlessly even, but after going through some really maybe wild stuff or some really painful stuff. Yeah. But you can also see when you know within the timeline that things come back together again, it can make it easier to look at the painful moments, to know that those things happened, but it still led to things coming back together at the end. Rather than when you're in it and you're like, I may never talk to this person again, and like they were my best friend, or this happened, or I thought they were the love of my life, or like that's my sibling. Whatever it is, it can feel really hard when the part of separation is happening. Because there's like death within that, there's decay within that, there's the splitting apart within that, and also the transformation through that. And when you get like later down the timeline, when you see like, oh, everything was okay in the end, or it all came back together, it can be less painful because you know that things are going to be okay in the end. So it can be maybe easier to look back and be like, that was actually really important that that happened, because maybe we'd never have like a real bond that felt like true, at least in the way that you'd want it to be now, without those things happening. Like those things needed to be cut off. And maybe there was no other way for those things to be cut off. And I do feel like you guys grew separately as well into sort of what you needed to be in order to play this role currently, these roles currently with one another. This is also somebody that you can feel like, the way that I'm seeing the Lovers feels like somebody that regardless of what went on with them, you could have felt like you always cared for them mutually, like they always cared for you. And you could have felt always like they were somebody special or significant within your life, whether you guys were talking or not. So having things come back together with you and this person, having us end with that Three of Cups, which is the reconciliation, can feel, and some of you, this is going to be happening a little bit later down the line, but I feel like you would be aware of this happening already. I don't think, I mean, well, we have the Tower, so it can be a little bit out of the blue. But yeah, things come back together now, so. it does feel like it helps give perspective to see this as to why things needed to happen in the way that they did before. Meaning, if you have some stuff going on with you and this person that you feel like needed to be called out, needed to be addressed, needed to change, it feels like that Tower allowed that to happen. That Ten of Swords allowed that to happen. So then when you guys link up again, that there's just like true showing up now in a way that I don't think was happening before. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.